Welcome, 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 everyone, to the first meeting of 2026. Okay, for those who haven't paid their dues yet, we still can do this. We just have to figure how to access the post office box uh, to receive the check. Zelle is another option, and if you want to do that, contact me, and I'll tell you how. I'll just send you a little invoice, and all you have to do is pay it from your bank account if it is Zelle approved type of a bank. Most of them are. We have a new treasurer who's going to be replacing Karen. Kimon is not with us tonight, but he's going to be handling the funds. I need to meet with him at a bank so we can transfer signatures and give him the ATM card. Thank you, Kimon, in absentia. Our January photo challenge will be bokeh, or as it's correctly pronounced, bouquet. The photographic term derives from the Japanese word bouquet, which means blur or haze. And you can read the rest if you want to, but we all kind of know what it is. We try to get something tack sharp and focus and use the bokeh around it to give that little creamy feeling to really highlight what your subject is. The image you see there, I took about a week or so ago down there at 34th Street. How to achieve bokeh for those of you who haven't attempted before, a longer lens is kind of helpful because it really uh, compresses the image, and the closer you get, the less focus you have, the narrower the focal range is. The image you see there, I took in 2022 at the same place. So you can compress the background. The last image you saw there, I think I did with a 35 millimeter prime lens at 2.2. This one here I took at 5.6 with my 28 to 300 lens. And I think I had it at 120 millimeters. But it's easy to achieve, so see what you can do when you go out there. Try to get some shots like that. Christmas time is a great time to do it because you got all these lights, Christmas trees and everything else like that. But those little round objects is kind of what you're looking for. It really depends on the blades of your aperture too. The sharper the blades, those little blurbs going to look a little bit more hexagonal. If they're more rounded, then you get to more bubbly look like that. So when you get your images before the end of the month, we're going to send them to Al, or I'll try to set up a Dropbox for you to drop them in, and I'll share that with Al. But that way, we can get it up on the on our website.
So we're not emailing to Al. You're going to put them in a Dropbox from now
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Yeah, if I put them on a Dropbox, I'll just send them to Al, and he'll take care of it. Did I miss one? Let me go back one. There it is. Okay. Our January 19th meeting at the Nonprofit Center. Mr. Dick Hall will be doing a presentation on his exploits and adventures around the world underwater. Uh,
Where'd you get that picture of me?
Thank you, AI.
That
Put in a prompt, Dick Hall underwater, taking a picture of a fishbowl.
that evening, you guys are going to see the biggest pile of junk biggest pile of the most expensive junk camera equipment you've ever seen. It's totally all trash can material right now, but it was state of the art some years ago.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we look forward to it. Okay, on Wednesday, a couple days later, on 21st, Harold Davis is going to be doing a webinar on flower photography, macros, and other ways of doing it. I went to his site today, and this is a site well worth it. He's got a bunch of YouTube stuff going on as well, too, and I went and watched a few of those. So go to the MPA website and register for it. Yeah, I think you'll be impressed. He's actually got seven U.S. postage stamps of the lower denominations, like from 1 cent to 7 cents, with his images on it. And the 7 cent one has like seven flowers on it, and 5 cent one has five flowers and stuff like that. But I looked at it, and it's pretty impressive. So I encourage you to go out and check it out. Okay, now we're going to get to the meat of this presentation, basically how to make a simple slideshow, how to make a simple slideshow and turn it into a video that you can post on most of the social sites, all the social sites actually, or YouTube or however you want to create it, or just show it amongst your friends and family. We're going to talk about some of the programs some you may have, like Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Express, and Canva, which are kind of identical, both free and pay for versions, just with more bells and whistles. And PowerPoint, which has been around since Microsoft Office, and that was it used to be my realm. I was a PowerPoint guy for like about 40 years now. So everybody should have PowerPoint or access to it, or uh, free versions of it, like the Google presentation mode or Keynote, things like that. They all kind of work the same way. So with that, we're going to start with Lightroom. I know not everybody in this in this group here has Lightroom, but if you do, you might find this helpful. There's also a Lightroom on the web as well too, and we can do this the same thing on the web too. I have that. I keep everything on Lightroom so I can access it on the web uh, as well, or on my phone. But anyway, starting with Lightroom, let me clear some of this other junk that's off my desktop that you can't see. Uh, anyway, if you have Lightroom and first you want to do is create a collection. So if you look down on the right side, or excuse me, the left side of your Lightroom, you'll have the catalog up there and the folders. And I've got a lot of folders because I got a lot of stuff stored in various locations all around me here too. But you find the images you want, and you can see that I have over here highlighted a shot I did down at the 34th Street on the 17th of February. So go down here to the collections, and you'll see a little button down there, create a collection right there. Or you can go up here to the library and do the same thing, say, uh, scroll down and say new collection, and hit that button up there. Anyway, it gets you to the same place. And right now we don't have anything in, we're just going to create a blank collection. So there we go. And so when you hit the create collections down here, give the collection a name, and then make sure that you tick this thing off here, set as a target collection. That way there you can put anything from anywhere in your catalog into that collection. So once you hit create, it'll end up down here in your collections, down there. And if you see that little plus mark right next to collection, that means it's your current target collection. And you can add images to that collection from anywhere in your catalog by just hitting the B key. Find that image, click on it, hit the B key, and it'll end up in your collection. So these are the images I put in the catalog to create my little slideshows, so to speak. Okay. And if you click on any of these images that are in the catalog, right click on it rather, you can see you can put these images in any catalog you want because the images is not going in the catalog. The data of that image from where it lives in your Finder or Explorer is what's getting put in the catalog. So you can see I have this in multiple catalogs. I have one because a lot of these images were taken on my iPhone. So I have a whole catalog of images taken on my iPhone. And you can always find where this actual image lives on your computer by hitting Show in Finder, and then it'll take you, to your Explorer or your folder in on your computer, and it'll point right to that image. So right now I'm in the slideshow. If you can see up there in the upper right-hand side, I'm in the slideshow module. So I want to create a slideshow. Uh, Down here, you see there's a little selection down here that says select photo. You can either hit all the photos that are in that collection and hit Control A or Command A to select them all, or you can hit this little two-way arrow down here and it'll say just select the photos that are in the timeline down here. And that's another option. Let's see if there's get some out of the way over here. And then over here on the right side, you have the options of how you want the slideshow to look. Basically, the two things I do first is basically I I like to put a little highlight around the border just so I separate it from the black, and I put a 1 pixel border. That's salt to taste as you want. So you can do that or not. Uh, don't worry about the zoom to fill because what will happen is uh, it'll cut off everything to make this fit in this particular frame. And I prefer to see in particular vertical images top to bottom. You really don't have to worry about the grids and stuff like that unless you're putting these things in one at a time. And that's a whole nother thing. I prefer to do this the easy way, the quickest way. And you can do text overlays, but the only problem with a text overlay is it goes on all the slides. If you want to put some words down here, it's not just for this slide, but it's going to end up on all the slides. So I tend not to do that. And so in that case, you may want to just edit a slide. And the one downside for for Lightroom in the develop module is you can't add text. So I end up having to go to another editor program like Photoshop or anything else to add the text where I want it to create a slide for that. And I did that for this presentation, but it's not on this screenshot I took. Uh, so scrolling down on the left side, here's a couple of things you may want to look for. The background color, you can make that any color you want. There's a whole color wheel behind that. I usually make it black because that's the way I roll. And they have an intro screen, an ending screen, and you can use that or not. If it's the ending screen, you have to put an image in there, and you'll have to go up into the upper menu to get to that screen. Uh, that's the 102 course. And music, if you want to put a music background too. Keep in mind of how many slides you got here. I got 14 slides here, and say if I do them at 14 seconds, 4 seconds each rather, I'm going to need a piece of music that's 56 seconds. Well, this gives you a couple options. I put a piece of music in there, it was like 2 minutes. And then you have an option down below it to slideshow mode to basically follow the music. So that will alter these numbers here. by that because it's an automatic thing. So if I put a two-piece music in there, this is going to jump up to like about 6 seconds and 1.5 second dissolves. Okay, there we go. Pan and zoom is like the Ken Burns effect. A little bit goes a long way there. I like using it, but I only bump this over like about just a nudge. And they just because it isn't otherwise it's like in your face is like a trombone going on your images. You just want just a little slight little nudge on that. And you uncheck the repeat slideshow if you're going to make this into a video. If you're going to do this like put 100 slides in here and you want to, put it on your TV screen or something like that, or you're at a exposition booth and manning the booth and you want to show slides and you just want them to repeat or go random mode, that's when you click that on and it'll just keep going ad nauseum. The next thing you want to do is once you get all this lined up, you want to preview it. So you see it, if everything is working the way you want to see it. And then if you want to see it in full screen mode, hit the play button and it will play the whole thing in full screen mode for you. So you make sure that you can do your tweaking on the timeline here or the music. And I always like to leave a little bit of extra in the music too, so there'll be a little bit of fade out. But anyway, it's that simple in Lightroom. And once I go through the other apps that we can use, I'll take the images that y'all sent me and we'll try to do this live. Okay, this is the image I created in Photoshop. Same place, I just did a little, intentional motion blur of these buildings back here at nighttime. But anyway, I wanted to have some sort of a header on this show. And there's the music I plugged in down there. If I want to change it, you hit the minus button, find another piece of music. You just grab that. I usually set up a folder in my that I'm working from. Maybe let me see if I can switch over to. There we go. There's the folder I'm working out of. There's the images I put in it and my assets, basically. There's the music folder there. Let me see if I can push this out of the way. Music folder, the screenshots I used for this particular slideshow that we're looking at now too, and other outputs I did because I created an output for each of these shows here to show you what the result is at the end. And I think this is the video that I made once I uploaded it. Did I do it? Let me see if I can go back up one there. Oh yeah, this slide right here. Basically, when you hit this button, basically name the video you want to name it, where you want to put it. I put it in downloads at this time here too. And then this is the video preset that you want to use. 1080p. You have actually the option of doing this in 4K too, but unless you've got a 4K video screen, it takes up a lot of space. But I did this 16:9, 4:8. Export it. It'll land in that spot, and then it should look like this. Can you hear this? see if we can get past this. All righty. Uh, hopefully you heard that. I don't know if the music came through.
Yep.
Did.
Yep.
Okay, good. Then my job here is done. Okay. Okay, now if you're like I said before, make sure you create a little folder that you can work out, put all your assets in, because it makes it easy when you want to start dropping it into other programs. And basically, those are those are the dimensions you're working on. 16 by 9, which is high definition video. Uh, and put them in a separate folder. Uh, and make sure the project is at least, or your images are outputted from Lightroom at 1980 pics. I usually use about 2000 or so, and 72 ppi because that's what a video screen. That's all you're going to get out of that, pixel wise too. So you put a 300 pixels per inch image that you be printing from is not going to be worthless. It's just going to be a lot of space you're using. And another thing too, if you want to have them rename the image with a three different prefix, if you want them to appear in a particular sequence instead of having drop them in one by one and rearrange them. So that's one of the things you can do. And that's how you do that when you hit output, export rather on Lightroom. Basically, you just create a custom file right here from the file naming. First, you put where you want this to live on your desktop. And so you create a subfolder on your desktop, and I call 34th Street, and then rename the images because I'm exporting 13-inch images, and drop them down there, and just go to custom down there, and then you can just do these sequence. I hit that button, insert sequence. I usually do three digits because sometimes it's going to be 100 or more photos. And file name. However, I rename my images every time I import them to date and time. So you can see up there the example is going to be file name, the sequence is number 111001, whatever. And then I should have put a hyphen here. I would recommend put a hyphen in between these things here. That'll separate it. And I always put my dates on my images too, but that's me. And you see down here, resize image to, I do 2000 pixels at a resolution of 72 pixels per inch. And I can sometimes show you how to gauge what your monitor actual pixel ranges. Sometimes it goes up as far as 96. I set mine to 96 at a larger range because I'm working on a 32-inch monitor, 4K. Okay, Adobe Express, for those who know, this is Canva is actually the monster in the group here, but Adobe Express is an up and comer. It's been around a little while. It does all the same things, and they both have a free and pay for version. The free version is obviously free with Adobe, and I think the paid version starts at $10, and then they have enterprise versions and all that stuff like that. Since I have the entire Adobe package, I have it all. So, but the free version, I basically used all the assets I can do here free for this particular exercise. So if I click on this, it'll just open up. There it is. This is Adobe Express. It's an online thing. But I tell you what, it has a ton of creativity already built into it. It's basically designed for people who want to do, work in the in the web space of social media, creating ads and commerce and putting out notices. and it hooks, basically it connects to all the other Adobe products too. So, you can see I got all these other projects going on in here. But if the uploads there, this is all the stuff I downloaded. Same program. I just basically hauled them. I basically said upload, and I went to the folder that I created and uploaded those photos. And now they're in the package here. And basically, I decided to just drop them all in a timeline down here. Let me see if I can, like that. And so you can play it back in here.
Both your Cheetos and your
Okay, that kind of gives you an idea of how that works too. But there's a lot of ways to, that first image you saw there was actually AI. There it is. I just put a prompt in there for hubcap Christmas tree in a junkyard. And that's what it made because I wanted to kind of simulate the image I took there. And so there's, where you upload stuff into, you can add text, which is kind of a cool thing. That's what I did here. Is I just created text and it has got a zillion different options and assets already built into this stuff. You do branding, templates, lots and lots of templates. You can create themes, colors, and everything else like that. Add ins.
Mike, on this one, you drag them and drop them where you want them in order. You don't have to rename them.
Nope. No, I just took those images and dragged them one after the other in there.
Put them in the order you want to put them in, and just drag them and drop
Yeah,
them in there.
exactly. I can just go here and basically I can move it over too. Want to move them around like that. And there it is.
Okay.
Command Z takes it back where it was. Music. They provide the music too. They've got a big music catalog you can go on, or you can go to places like Pixabay is a popular one that I go to a lot too to find some royalty-free music to put in these things. But it's already built in it. It comes from Adobe Stock. And Adobe Stock has a shit ton of free stuff, free art, free music, free video that you can include in these things here. Uh, Text, let me see. Add content, media, music. As long as it doesn't have those little crowns on them, that's the paid version. But tons of free stuff. You go up here and say free music, FRE music, and then hit that. Free music. Okay. Not more of this. Free holiday music. I was able to do this a little while ago. Yeah. View all. There you go. You can scroll it down as long as it doesn't have those little crowns next to it, like that. You can. So yeah, you could scroll through these all day long. There's zillions of them in there, and you can do voice voice records over too. So you want to describe, and then it'll lay another audio track down below. You just take this and drag it into place down there. Let's see what music I did. I think it was something like Happy Holiday or something. There's somewhere I can click on this and it'll tell me what it is. Right now, it's not showing my stuff the way it is, but you can do fade ins, fade outs.
Are you
Okay.
leaving after
I'm
Thursday?
clicking on the music, and basically I want to fade 3.6 second duration of a fade out. Go there. I'll go to the end. I can do a longer fade out, but you can drag this out a little bit further, start it where you want to start it, move it around. So, I mean, there's a lot of creative opportunities in this thing. For making slideshows and or videos for that matter too. You can drag video in this as well too, in the middle of one of these things here, and it will do slide up to that point and then play the video and come out. So if you want to get your creative juices going for literally free, or $10 a month for more bells and whistles, this is a good go-to. Let me see. We can go get out of audio to my stuff, and that's this program here I'm in right now. There's a way to upload your stuff there. I just clicked on that. If I go to samples slideshow, there you go. Go to there it is. That file there, just grab one or all and just, hit open, and they'll open in the system here. And then when you want to turn it into a video, you either download what you got. What I would do would be download it, and it would come in. How do you want to download it? I want to turn it into an MP4. There's other options. You can turn it into, a PDF, and do it a PDF slideshow, although, the music won't work too well. And if you're doing stuff without audio, a GIF would work very well, especially when you want to do a simple GIF to put on, on your email or whatever. But like that. And then, or you can just share it right directly to, if it's not a large file, you can share it directly to somebody or download it from here. So that is that. Let me see. I did download it to here. And let me see, that is 34th Street, Adobe Express right there. It's a little abrupt, but it can be tweaked. Okay. It's Adobe Express right there. And there's Lightroom again just on the web, and you can get to Adobe Express there and a bunch of other things. You get free fonts and stock and all that stuff. That's on my Lightroom site. Okay, let's go back to here, and I think that's the same thing. Okay. Let me come up out of there and go to Canva. Canva is the same thing. I think they've been around a little bit longer, and that's the one that's the monster of the group. I prefer Adobe Express personally because and I'll show you why here in a second. There's the pricing for Canva. You can see you have you have a lot of stuff for free. You get more for $10 a month. And, if you're doing business and you're very graphic oriented, that's if you're a business and can afford that, that's the way probably a lot of people do. One thing that Adobe Express does, let me see. No, let me see it. Doesn't do. Let me just go back. 1, 2, and hit the Canva, and it'll take me right to Canva. It has pretty much all the same features and all the same sort of things. You have audio, anything with those little crowns on it. I haven't explored their free listings yet, but they do have them there. Because the music I put down here was one of the free ones. I uploaded the projects to it the very same way. There's tools you can do some drawing and graphic stuff and add text. Discover apps, and there are apps involved in here too. It's very cool, and I'll use this from time to time to do things. But for example, let me just get into here. The one thing I can't do with this, or I haven't figured out how to, is basically is editing. I want to crop this down because this is the space. This is my 16:9 space here, but you can see that if I bring this down, it won't move. It's just there. There's a lot of it that's missing. It's just it picked a spot in that whole space there, and it usually finds the middle, and it calls that's the space you're going to work in. So you can't really put a background on and just kind of work within that background. So as I do the playhead on this one here, and like that. Let me see if they have audio editing tools in here. Let's put this here. No, yeah, I don't see any audio editing tools. Again, I'm not all that familiar with. I can do some basic stuff with this, but again, it does the same thing. And if you're fine with them doing the cropping for you, you can move it up and down and around the frame, but you can't like drag it in and make it smaller and put something behind it. You can put in other layers. For example, right here, I put this text layer in. And if I move this text layer over here, it'll be there. So, the text layer is just basically, it's a PNG file or, a transparent background. And I wonder if I can this is only reserved for layers. I'm going to try something here, see if I can put in something on top of this. And can I adjust the transparency of any of these layers? Yes, I can. So I can adjust the transparency and maybe go to my Oh, resize. Yeah, there is resizing in there, but it's got a little star next to it, which means you have to pay the extra to resize the image. Okay. So there's that. See if I can take, are those free? See if I can pull one of those things over there. Yep, there it is.
Okay. Go first. Go ahead.
Put this in this layer, if it'll fit in that. Well, it won't. So I wonder if I could just, put layers on top of each other. Yep. Anyway, there is Canva. So that is another option with some limitations. Okay, let me see. Back in this guy here and come out of here and see if there's anything after this. Okay, we're going to go to PowerPoint next. PowerPoint is a tool I've been using ever since pretty much its inception. See if I have, go up here, window 343, there it is. And again, if you're working off a file, got your images in the file, you just drag them in. You can size them to frame, to any frame. Let me just back to this guy here. And
Sleep well. I'll see you in the morning.
there, put that back in where it went. One. What I like about this, you can be really precise with, if anybody is familiar with the intricacies of PowerPoint, it can be really simple. Just, you generally start with a master slide. Start a master slide like that. Basically, I'll just take this master slide there like that, and maybe I prefer to have the background as black. So all my slides will be black now. I always like to take the first one here. I take all this stuff out just like that until you see it like that, and I just hit delete. So now I got a blank slide. Oh, there's one I missed down here.
Yeah, but there's no place to plug them in. Ready to the cord.
Okay. And pictures, all that are what they are. So I'll get out of there.
Finished.
I'll go back to
Let's go. Start
view.
Johnny's on.
Okay.
We got some books.
I'll view this back in normal mode.
The
Oh,
key, right?
there it is. So oh, I'm in the wrong slideshow, huh? That's good. Let me go back to here. There we are. But anyway, I'll start that way to make sure all my slides are back, and then as I drop slides in, to one here, I can size them any way I want to, but because they'll come into a kind of not the size you want. So what I'll do is I'll click on the image. I know that this is 7.5 dimensions here and 13.3 side to side in this format. So knowing that, I will try to leave a little space around, top and the bottom. So I'll just cut off an inch on either side and call it 6.5. So when I open it up, there'll be a little consistency. There'll be a little consistency to the sizing of the images on the black background. From there you can go to transitions, figure out what your transition is. I got that one that you saw there basically, and I can never remember which one it is because it's already locked in. But I want it to just go continuously. So I take the mouse click off, so I'm not mousing it to create this video. And how long do I want? I want each slide to be like 3 seconds each, which is kind of optimal, with a 1 second transition up here. Like that. And for the music, let me go back to the main slide here. You can see I got a little music loaded. That's where I dropped the music in. Let me see. Put this in there. I don't know if it tells you what the music is that I put in here, but basically there is audio music format. I put it in there, and basically I want it to basically run through the entire thing without pause. So I'll hit the playback up here, and I'll just say play in the background. And I don't particularly do anything else in that. I'll just play in the background. So it'll just play till it ends. You can put captions and stuff on this as well too. But anyway, it's actually pretty simple. But again, you need to know a little bit about PowerPoint. PowerPoint is can be as simple or as difficult as you want it to be. My business for the 80s and 90s was building these things here for corporate guys, for large audience presentations and things like that. So I know a little bit more about this because I've dived deep, and I've probably forgotten way more than I ever learned. So I'm kind of learning this as I go along again, since I haven't been in PowerPoint world for quite a while. But there's infinite options in this, and anybody with a Microsoft program has this. It's part of the bundle, and a lot of it's free now too. There's an online version of it. It's free, and so I'm just iterating that this is another option. And basically, if I put this in full screen mode, presentation mode rather, and play it, like this. You have a ton of like transition options you can do. You can do this, you can do flips and flops and fades and zooms and all that stuff in PowerPoint as well. But how it does. Basically, I find this to the music, so when it ends in the proper spot. Because I can make these transitions as well, or short transitions longer if I want to. And for marketing purposes, I put my logo in there. And there it is. Now we're going to go back to Lightroom. Lightroom Classic. Let me hit the Shift F key, go full screen mode. So does everybody see that? If your mic is on?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, basically. So as you can see right here, I have created this slideshow. You look down, I'm down in the collection folder, and that little plus symbol means that's there. If I want to add another slide to this here, basically I can go back up to anywhere in my catalog. And let's say we can just go back to Sailing into Solstice. We did that last weekend. And I'll just pick. Let's say I want to throw this one in. I'll hit that, hit B, and go back down into here. it all slides and it's in there someplace. There it is, right there. So let's try to create a video out of this. I'll take all these and go right to the slideshow module. Down here, I hit all film strip photos. You can see this right down here. Let's see if I can do this. Function button. There it is. Right there. All film strip photos. The other way to do it is basically you can, hit one and select all, and it basically does the same thing. So I'm going to basically use all the film strip photos. Take that off and then hit that. And let's put this out of the way here. And I'm down here and let's take a look. Put it in widescreen modes. Give me a start here. And I don't have the option to size these once I'm in here too, on a per screen basis. So I'll just put a stroke border around it at 1 pixel. Okay, then I'll drop down here to, I'll turn off text overlay because I'm not going to use it. And intro screen. Okay, I'll put an intro screen in here too. So it's going to ask me for what? I'll hit intro screen and basically I'll size it up a little bit and don't want to add the identity plate. I want to should ask me what oh, here's the identity plate down here. No, that's not it. That's the ending screen. Or there is a place here where I can I forgot where it was. Background image. You can put a background image too, as opposed to black if you want to have some, soft in the background and create that as well. Okay, I'm going to take the intro screen out because that's holding me up. And let's put the music in. Automatic and I'll do pan and zoom. I'll take this up just a notch and we'll do a preview. Yeah. See, it's just a slight. I can probably make that a little bit more, right about there. I like it low. Okay. Let's put music in here. Let's try that. Music. There it is. This is the music I selected, but if I don't want that music, I can basically click on this. Take this music out and find some other music. But I kind of like this music, so I'm going to keep it in there. But it's in my selection here. Music right here. That's the music I selected. It's a 2-minute piece. Looks like, sounds like this. That's the wrong one. It's this one. 2 minutes. So I'll select that and I'll fit it to music. So you can write, here's the length that I originally set it at was 4 seconds and right there. 4 seconds and 2.5 second transitions. I'm going to take those transitions down to about 1 second. And I'll fit to music. And so that's perfect. 3-second transition. It's just going to fit it to the music at 2 minutes right there. So if I go to play this back, it'll look like this. Now, you can actually, put headers and footers in here as well too, but they have to be fairly decent sized images. The ones I have in my identity plate areas are pretty small, so they come up pretty pixelated. So you have to create those like from scratch. 'Cause I had one earlier. Let's see, I think I did one with our logo to start it off, and but there is, you can create starting and ending images as well too in Photoshop if you want to put text and whatnot in them as well, and go from there. Or create in Adobe Express, you can create these same slides, put your slide in there, put your text on top of it, and then re import it back into into another file to work from to put in into the library here. So there's all those options as well too. So let me just jump out of this. And I think that's all I got.
That was great.
Any questions about the process or anything?
Mike, I do have a question. Once you go through that whole Lightroom setup,
Uh-huh.
you put your presentation into Lightroom, you've saved it.
Right.
Can you easily just plug it into PowerPoint?
Yeah. Actually, you can actually create the video and put that into PowerPoint.
Right, but if you didn't create it in PowerPoint, okay,
No,
for
you
some,
can't. Yeah.
somebody like me, I said, okay, I'm going to put this into Lightroom and put a presentation together, and I say, oh, I like it. I'd like to put it into PowerPoint. Can I just click on it with PowerPoint and open it?
Here's what you do is you export the images that you just did
Okay.
into another file, go to PowerPoint and pick those images out of PowerPoint. Let me give you for example here. Let me just go to, okay, now you see it?
Yes.
I'll just repeat the process I did. I'll just take this guy out, take this guy out, and I'll go back to my Finder, find a slide to drop in, take it, just drop it in. like that. And then again, that's, if I look at the screen there, I got all this, I really don't need that stuff too. I'll just delete that out of it. But I'd like to have that a little bit larger in the screen. But knowing the dimensions of this already, because I've done it so many times, I'll click on that and you can see the height and width. I'll just make that height 6.5. And I have these guidelines. I want this to fall right square center on this thing here. So basically, these little points there, you can nudge it in place. Normally, if you drag it just right, it'll just fall right in there because I have a sticky motion for these things. So you just got magnetically drawn to the guidelines. But anyway, that would be the image. Now, if I want to put a border around this here, I would go to this picture border like that. There, create the size you want the border to be, the weight, 1 pixel. Sometimes I'll go maybe 2 pixels. It's a lot broader. And so if I take this and open it up full screen, that's what it'll look like.
Okay, so to make sure I have my process right in my head, I can take half of my photos, edit those in Lightroom. Once I'm happy with them, then just set up my slideshow in PowerPoint and do it once.
Yeah, basically what you do is you go, let me go back to Lightroom Classic here and go back to the library. And we're back now in the slides. These are the ones we created in our collection. This is the ones we want to have in our slideshow.
Right.
Okay, basically, select one, then hit Command or Control A to select them all. And then file should be, where's export added? Okay, export. I usually use the keyboard shortcut Command Control Shift Command Control E, but go there. And so you've got the 20, however many that was, images. I think it was like 28, 20,
Okay.
29 images like that. Basically, you're gonna basically go to
Hey,
we're in export mode. So now that we're exporting these files, we want to export them to a certain place. So fare where you want to export them to, I'll say basically I want to choose desktop, and okay, desktop's where I want to move them to.
Okay.
And so I already have it set for desktop. Then you create a folder, a subfolder on the desktop to drop those files into.
Got it.
Okay, and let's say I'll call that CCC sample. Okay, or sample 1. Okay, because I already probably have a sample up there too. Rename these files. Okay, so we'll go down to this, hit the rename button down there. It'll take a little moment for it to. There we go. Edit. I want to call this thing custom text. Instead of that, I'm going to take this out and this out. I'm going to create a whole new custom. I'm going to start with a multi-digit number, put a hyphen mark in, and then original, or yeah, file name, because I renamed the file, so I don't want to use the original file name. So there it is. That's what it's going to look like. The first slide's going to come up saying 001. So I hit done. And then let me see if I can make this a little smaller. So there we go. So we can see it and export. Look at up here at the progress bar as it's exporting. I don't know if I have to move this thing out of the way in order to do that. So let me move this out of the way. And okay, we're in that file right now. CC sample 1 up here. Can you see this?
See that.
Okay, up there, and there's all the files
Beautiful.
that I've named. Okay, so you take this file, I'll leave that open, go back over to PowerPoint like that, and hit this file up here and drop the first file in because I don't know who submitted this file. Nobody put their name on it. And there it is.
Okay.
Or better yet, let's just create a whole new PowerPoint.
Right. Make it a blank screen.
Yeah, make it a blank screen. There's a brand new PowerPoint. I'm going to first go to Power up there to basically, I'll hit View, Master, Slide Master, like that. I want to turn.
All the way at the bottom.
I don't want to do that. Let me just basically, I'll click on this. Ruler, zoom, format background. I'll put background in. I want to put a solid fill on that, and I'll make the fill black or a picture, something like that. And what I generally do is I just take all this stuff out like that. That's my slide master. Okay, so go back to home. There's my one slide. We have 29 slides. So if I sit here and hit Shift Command N 29 times, or however many you need,
Sure.
start with one. Start with one, and go back up here. Drop in the first slide, and again, I will basically format to the size I want. I want some space up above and below the image, so I'll do like 6.5 is going to be my spot. 6.5, like that. Drop this into place. There we go, it locks in there. There it is. It locks in, and then if I want to put a border around it, I'll add a border and in the weight, and say one point. And so if I hit this, if I hit the Command E to put it in slideshow mode, that's what you get. And
Okay.
just rinse and repeat all the way down. And here's a bonus like that too. If you want to drop a second image into this guy right here, go back to this image here, hit the brush, format brush, like that. It does the same thing, except it won't do the size, but it will should put the border around it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, but it's to taste. You can do this there. You can lay multiple images on the stack if you want to do this and bring these down and
Yeah, shoot two at one time.
yeah, and do two at one time. Put this down here too, and then size them together.
Gotcha.
And then
If you-
then the creativity begins. And you can start, once you get put this into up there, once you have these things all lined in there, you can start, working with your transitions and effects and all kinds of things. You make these images flip around in there and do different appearances at different times while staying in the same slide.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. That
Absolutely.
cleared it up for me.
Okay, anybody else have any questions about this? And I'm always here too. Basically, if you want to go dive deeper into this, just let me know and I'll set up a separate Zoom with you all.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Yeah, because I use the big heavy duty stuff like Premiere, which is like professional video
Which is
editing stuff. But
which is a
that's
real dark room.
Yeah. But throwing out simple, I Premiere or Lightroom, or if you have Photoshop, you can do the same thing in Photoshop as you can in Lightroom. But yeah, Lightroom, it has limitations, obviously. But for down and dirty, quick and simple, putting a little video together, a slideshow, like I said, I would do these things on Premiere, or not on Premiere, but on Lightroom like that. just do a quick upload to YouTube or to on Facebook or something
Right.
like that.
Does it automatically.
Yeah. For doing those quickie videos. But right now, programs like Adobe Express or Canva are probably the way to go to do that. And they have their certain limitations too, but they have a lot more creative possibilities.
I like the way you did the Adobe Express. It was really neat.
Yeah.
I sometimes use the Apple movie, the movie that comes with the Mac operating
Yeah,
system.
yeah, I've never used it. I have it, but since I have everything else, I use what I know.
It works really well and is really
Yeah.
simple. And
Right now, there's Premiere for iPhone. I mean, I can I can shoot video on the iPhone and edit it right there
yeah,
on Premiere. I just downloaded that the other day. And if you want to do quick and simple, what they call those reels, and you can really do it down to the fine point. In Premiere, it used to be Adobe Rush was the simple version, a free version too that you can get on iTunes. But I don't do that
nice to
much
see the
video
comparison.
on iPhone. I do it on occasion, but not enough to do anything with it. Because I usually use my GoPro or my real camera to shoot video. And I don't do a lot of in-field video stuff. I do it if I'm, doing those Maryland Master videos and stuff like that, which you want a time suck, try video editing. That'll take all day, every day. Just to do a 5-minute video will take an all day project.
Hmm.
Even doing these things here too takes a little bit of time because you have to kind of think it out. Basically, create yourself a project file to work on, to drop your images in before you start, building your videos. Have all your assets in one place. And that's the way you do it when you're doing a real video. Have all your assets in one place and just work out of that spot and let the program you're working on be the receptacle of those assets because you know where they live. Just like Lightroom, your images remain on your computer or in a hard disk someplace like that too. And everything you're doing in Lightroom, you're not moving those images anywhere. They're going to stay there, and all that information is going to be stuck in your catalog. Okay, I think I'm off. Yeah.
Thank you
So,
very much.
it's my pleasure.
Yep.
And if anybody's still left,
Yeah.
thank you for staying around.
No, it was neat.
Still
You're
here.
welcome.
Thank you, Mike. All right. I'm
Good
checking
night.
out.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Outstanding job, Mike.